So this is the first interview that I've conducted in such a manner. I thank you guys very much. This is a dope opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And
Sick. Brandon actually sent me the exclusive "I'm Miss Summer," which I think was the craziest thing that's ever happened in my fucking life. Super incredible stuff.
Thanks.
We were talking so much about it, and like still it blew my mind. Just the sound is incredible. I think you guys are gonna do great things. But we'll get more into the project a little bit later.
Thank you, man.
But for now, just want to start us off once I figure out how to unlock this iPad. So how'd you guys meet? Let's start with that.
I guess the first jam we ever had was me and Ethan. We met through one of my roommates, and they went to school together. And I think the first time we ever played together, we played So Much of Yourself, which was a song that like I'd been working on for a little bit, which we put out on our first EP. And then Nick went to school with my roommates as well, so we were jamming, and then we combined forces. And then Danny and I went to school together, and we were making a demo for "Depends on You," which we did horribly. We like put a microphone in a hockey skate and on a to like as a stand,
Cool.
and made a terrible demo of it. Anyways, and I showed it to Danny, and he wanted to record it, and then we just kind of started all jamming and sending each other stuff, and
the process of bringing us all together was very piecemeal in the sense that I was playing music, and I knew through Nathan, the roommate, and me and Brandon met through that. Brandon also plays music, and we just kind of started just kind of discussing it as like maybe even a possibility of jamming together, and then we did it, and then from there it just kind of flourished, and then it kind of stayed as like a two piece for a bit, and then Nick came in and I left, and as like I was out for a year, and then Danny came in while I was gone, and then since I've been back, it's just been all together. It's been really nice.
yeah,
Dope.
fun times.
So that was kind of a preemptive because I do want to ask who everybody is and what you guys play. Maybe let's start from this side. Walk and
Sure.
way over. Yeah,
My name's Ethan, and I play guitar in Rose Red Youth.
sick.
I'm Brandon, and I sing and play guitar and piano.
I'm Danny. I play guitar on some tracks, involved in a lot of the recording and the production, and I do all the mixing.
I'm Nick, and I play drums.
Sweet, dope, man.
Andy played bass too on I'm Miss Summer.
Yeah.
Just low-key.
Well, that's
and one of the instruments.
definitely something that I noticed. I also got the the advanced credit. I don't know what you would call that. Detailed credits.
Yeah.
You guys all do a lot, which is cool. I feel like you guys are all very talented, just musically, and the fact that you were able to come together to make this one project is ridiculous. But anyways, I don't want to be complimented too hard. I do want to ask though, when did you guys start picking up your stuff? Let's go this way now.
Picking up like in terms of like playing music?
So when did you start playing music?
I've been playing, like I started with piano when I was like pretty young, like 8, and that's kind of been like my like an instrument that I stick with a lot. But drums, I think I started when I was like 13 maybe, and then kind of as I've gotten older, I've kind of gotten into more aspects like a bit more production type stuff, I guess. Like I'm doing school for music technology right now, and so like on You're Okay, I did some kind of like string overdub type of stuff. So it's been like music, obviously, like been playing music for quite a while. But drums for about, I guess, 12 years, but
You teaching them for years.
a little bit, yeah.
I started playing guitar when I was probably like, I think grade 6 or 7. I didn't focus on it too much until sort of high school, university. And then starting to get into more the technical side of music like Nick, just over the last couple of years. Recording Drama Queen with these guys was the first thing I had ever sort of done like that. But now I'm obsessed with it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Dope.
I started playing piano and guitar probably like, I think 10 to 13. I picked up both of them, and with a piano teacher of mine did like a lot of songwriting, like training and stuff like that. So, but then I kind of stopped playing for a few years, but I remembered all those lessons and stuff, and then picked it up again in university. Started playing guitar a lot with Danny. Went and bought my first guitar, my Telecaster at times. Yeah.
I started playing piano when I was pretty young, but through school I started playing viola also. And that became my that became my central instrument for like 5 years. And then from there I was picking up drums at the same time. But I stopped playing kind of like any instrument for like second and third year of university. And then when I was in like the second half of fourth year, like I started picking up kind of like just logic tips and like how to connect like my guitar into my computer that I could actually make stuff on my own. So when I came back to Toronto and I met Brandon, like I think I started concentrating more on music and like developing a skill set so that I could actually make stuff with other people.
Cool.
Yeah.
So when did you guys so like obviously you guys have been playing music for a while, but when did it start getting serious? Was it, I didn't even seem like it was together, to be honest with you. It seems like it was like, or why, if you don't mind answering that, whoever wants to go first.
I don't know, actually. I guess, like, I remember when we played So Much of Yourself for Nate and you and that one time, like, that was, they just, like, were pretty, like, they were pretty, like, nice guys. And we were just kind of having fun, but I guess always at the back of our minds wanted to, like, be in a band. Like, I feel like we all kind of just secretly always wanted to, like, do this since we were kids. Cool. But yeah, I think once we like started playing a little bit together and like getting a full song kind of finished, we were more excited about it. And then we started actually taking it really seriously when we recorded Drama Queen. That was like the first like project that we like rented gear for, and like and then it was just really addicting from there. Like we just don't write something without fully making it now, as so far at least.
That's so dope. One thing a lot of people talk about is how hard it is to make original music. You guys have already put out 2 projects in 2 years. Fucking impressive. I know it might take a long time, but just super impressive that you guys are able to do that.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's super fun.
Yes, you kind of talked about it. Do you guys think, like, was this stuff you guys were working on before Rose Red Youth, or was this like is this what you guys got started with? How did that go?
I spent a decent amount of time just like making terrible beats in my terrible studio by myself.
Cool.
And it was fun and everything, and like I put some stuff together, but I found I would never like finish anything, and I didn't really care about anything that I did. And it wasn't until I was working with other people, like these 3 guys that had such a strong vision for a song, and then sort of being able to take that vision and add elements to it and do this production and turn it into something that hopefully sounds like, you know, the songs that we all love. That's where the passion for me sort of comes into play.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that like collab, like Danny's saying, like I also had a lot of like I would write like songs on piano and stuff like that, and I'd just be like, cool, here's a melody I have, and like never really like get into it. And then when I'd show it to, like, for example, Brandon would come over and be like, yeah, I'm working on this track, and I'm just kind of stuck with it. And he'd be like, well, like obviously it's got to go here, and he would like show me, be like, oh, like perfect. So like kind of having that collaborative effort is so helpful with being able to actually finish things, because I think like a lot of musicians like have the issue of like, oh, like they have such a good idea and they put it down, and then like, hey, where do I go from here? Or they get stuck in like the 8-bar loop or anything, and I kind of like, hey, well, I don't know where else to take it. So kind of having someone to talk that through with is huge. So that was kind of a big help.
Dope.
There's a lot of ideas and a lot of opinions, and so like everything's a conversation that like has to end at some point. So like we always just, rather than leaving it, we're just like, I guess we'll make it like this, and then
Super impressive. I think the fact that you guys are willing to listen to each other, and the fact that you guys are willing to help each other out, is obviously the best part. I'm surprised that you guys, not necessarily surprised, but like you guys are working together to make a song or like a sound that I would assume you guys all love.
Yeah.
So let's start there, I guess. Like not where did you grow up, but what is each of yours like inspirations musically ahead of time? You guys talk about making beats and stuff too, so I'm sure some people will be surprised about the kind of stuff you listen to. You want to start with you?
Yeah, sure. I guess when I first started like getting into working within Logic and like making just like kind of loops, it was based off Tom Misch, like Beat Tape 1 and Beat Tape 2.
Dope, yeah.
So it's there that like I was developed like an appreciation for making like an interesting beat and like adding a guitar into it, like mixing kind of different genres.
Cool.
He was definitely like a huge influence on me, like actually wanting to play guitar. And like also John Mayer is his influence, so like double down on that. But Tom Misch, like for sure. And then through Brandon, he introduced me to the 1975. And like I'm sure every band member will have like their own top discussion on the 1975, but I definitely like that was like another layer of just they're less of like even just a band that just makes music, but they're everything they do with their music, with their art, with their design, with their clothing, like it all fits in like a perfect package and like a perfect concept that like I really appreciate. So I just huge appreciation for like a creative vision that like comes to fruition.
Sweet. Brandon?
I think a lot of my influence comes from the 1975 as well, and just a lot of I guess just like any artist that makes me sort of like feel something that's like seems really sincere. I think that's always been a big draw for me. Just like I Miss Summer specifically, I was listening a lot to Swimming by Mac Miller and American Boyfriend by Kevin Abstract and like the Brockhampton albums. And yeah, like there's just any and like of course the 1975 has that too where just like you can tell that this song kind of just like had to come out because like they were feeling something. And so that's always just like the draw to it is that there's a bunch of stuff going on that I can kind of explore by trying to make a song out of it.
Sick. Danny?
I feel like these guys have changed my influences a lot.
Oh, that's
So I grew up as
yeah.
I hated anything that was electronic, and I only liked AC/DC pretty much. And I just tried to learn all the Slash solos in the book. Didn't really succeed. They're hard. But yeah, so I just sort of like one time in third year when we were studying for exams, Brandon showed me A$AP Rocky's album. And it was just like a huge turning point for me. I was launched into the Stratos. Like.
We went CD shopping at HMV because Danny had CDs, a CD player in his car.
I hated electronics so much that I refused to like download music. I was no CDs only.
That's
you got Forest Hills and At Long Last.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, a couple of Childish Gambino albums.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was
because
like one of those. This music changed my life. Type deal. But yeah, so now then I got sort of more into the hip hop side of things. And then I still hated the 1975, but not anymore. Now they're my fave. Love the boys. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're pretty lucky because we have a decent amount of overlap in what we like and what our influences are. A decent amount of difference too, which is always good. But I think just our sort of like our values about what our music should be or convey or where it should come from, just like are perfect. We're all aligned there. So that's I think what really helps it work.
Sure. Absolutely. It comes out in the sound.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some of your influences?
Yeah. It's funny because like in terms of like the music I was making, and I still make obviously, but like I wasn't thinking about production and just like sounds outside of like, oh, like I like this. Before we kind of got together and started working together and like actually doing it and be like, oh, like this is like now every time I listen to a song, I'm like, Brandon, this guitar tone is fun. But like it was never something I really thought about before. Aside from just like I'd be like, oh, I play the piano and like I like orchestral music as well. So like I would think about that kind of stuff, but like thinking into the actual like production side, I feel like I have such a more like appreciation for stuff that I used to listen to as well. Like a lot of Bon Iver that I listen to. I just like keep going back to it because I'm thinking about like, especially on like the second and third album, I'm thinking so much about the production side of things actually, which is really fun. And I feel like that's definitely influenced a lot of kind of the songwriting I do with the band and outside of it too. So yeah.
I know you guys already kind of did it, but do you want to give your quick little spiel on 1975? Well, the reason I'm saying it is because I actually didn't really know 1975 till Brandon. Like,
I like America and America likes me.
Yeah,
do that on my first day of work.
Yeah, probably. Why is this guy sending me such aggressive music so quickly? But like what they're doing is so like different, and that's what I think makes me appreciate your guys' music so much. Just like the ability for you guys to have such a distinct sound. The dynamics that you guys do too. I don't even really know what that means on my end, but like the way that you're able to change songs, move songs, fucking nuts. But anyways, do you guys want to talk about the 1975? I know Ethan already kind of talked about like the whole package, which is sick. How much do you guys appreciate that kind of stuff? That is a question that you have later.
There's it's like there's an interesting thing that we've noticed over like even the past couple of months is that we'll have an idea and then a couple of days later, the 1975 will come out.
that's
with
wild.
Always
idea
after the idea.
professionally done.
Yeah.
Like whether we're like designing a poster, and then they come out with an album cover that looks like that poster 5 days later,
True.
or whether like we're like, let's do a like
Yeah.
don't want to spoil, but like let's do like a country song, and then they're like, okay, let's
Spoiler.
let's have a banjo in the next song that comes out 5 days later. So it's just like a funny thing. They're just so like on top of everything that's topical, and they just manage to like stay on top of everything way so far in advance that like it's always like a fresh new like perspective on music or like design.
Cool.
Yeah. I think just the main thing for me is just like the honesty and sincerity with all the music. Like it's never just like a song like, oh, what should we call this? Like it's not about anything.
Yeah.
It's always like something that if you know the band, then you like can really follow to some emotional pool they're drawing from, which I just like, that's all I want in music. So yeah.
Sorry, take a second. Yeah, do you guys want to keep going?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, in addition to what these guys said, I love all that too. But the production is amazing. I mean, you listen to pretty much any 1975 song, and there's like so many sounds going on just everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, in our experience, making one good sound and coming up with a cool part to play takes a long time.
Yeah.
And like most of the stuff that you make sucks, and you have so many iterations of like using one synth or another or something to make some sort of sound, and they just have so much stuff going on, and it's like crazy to imagine how much time they would have had to spend on that stuff, or like how much talent and instinct that takes to sort of put that stuff together. But yeah, really dense productions that are really impressive.
Yeah. You mentioned how long it takes them to put it together. I think a lot of it has to do with how much time they've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't mean to like compliment you guys too much, but you guys are very early on in your stage, doing super impressive stuff. But
Thanks.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah, and I have a funny relationship with the 1975 because I
As
really,
we all do. As
I
we all do.
really used to have a disdain for them.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, like knowing Brandon, you don't really have a choice but to become a 1975 fan. And, But I do think that like something they've done is that because they were always capable. Obviously, they're always capable like of writing great songs, like really, really good songs. But for me, at least, I found that like as they've progressed, more of their songs are consistently like, okay, like this song has like everything that it needs. Even if it's like on their last album, everything was so different.
Yeah.
And it was almost like some of the songs were almost like cliches of different genres, but they made it their own in a way, which I thought was quite impressive. So I do have to, hats off to them because I really loved. I think it's not
From me, Nick.
Hey.
their final approval. Yeah, but like I think it's not living. It was not with you. It was like my number one played song on Spotify,
Yeah, it's a good song.
which makes Brandon gleam. But yeah, so I do think that they're really honing their craft, which is something that I really do appreciate from them, and everything that Danny said as well. Like they do have quite lush and intricate production, which again I've really started to notice in the past couple of years, not just in their music but in everyone's music. So it's been
Fair.
cool.
Yeah, you always know when it's a 1975 song.
Yeah.
And you put it on, you can just listen for a couple seconds, and you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is them. Just even if it's instruments that they've never used before or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Let's talk less about them. we'll save them for later. But yeah, no, definitely they're again very unique. I don't listen to them enough, but I think like the fact that I'm listening to your guys' music as much as I am right now means that I'm inevitably going to be listening to a bunch of 1975. But yeah, I just really quickly do want to kind of talk about the stuff that you guys were doing before this. When did you guys kind of come together to do Drama Queen? Like, how did that happen? The first project.
I feel like I sort of just forced you to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, boys, let's pick a weekend to do this. I want to record you. And Brandon was like,
Yeah.
like whatever.
And I was like so like sheepish with everyone. Like Danny's gonna rent stuff. It'll be like $30 each.
Yeah. But I mean, like I only knew this from you telling me afterwards, but like you didn't really think it was gonna be that serious. And then I showed up with all the gear, and you were like, damn, this is like we're doing this for
Yeah.
all the gear. I mean, we had like one mic and
one amp, one guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was coming from using a Zoom mic and a skate like on the third level of my garage to
Yeah, honestly,
proper mic. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I sort of forced my way into the band. I was just like, guys,
Hey,
come
man.
on,
Yeah.
I can record you. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah, because we didn't even like. At least I didn't meet Danny until the first time we played Drama Queen live in Ethan's backyard. Because
Yeah.
we had like a little.
Sick.
We did like a little.
That's fun. So sick.
We did like a little show in Ethan's backyard.
Yeah.
Right before he was gone for about a year.
Yeah.
And so we did a little show there, and then that's when we met Danny. And then that was like the next week we recorded Drama Queen in Ethan's garden shed in his backyard.
It's like an A&R coming to a
Yeah.
show.
I was
You
not
boys
in the
got a
band
good
at that
sound.
point. I was standing front row, being like, "Love these guys."
Word.
So
dope. So damn. Okay, so I guess that's how so you guys were all friends before that, and then I guess like that kind of show, that project is what made it like, okay, let's do this as a band. Let's do this as a group.
Yeah, it was just super casual, like Sunday afternoon. Like Ethan and Nick and the other bassist before Ryan would like come over, or we'd go to rehearsal space or something like that, and like we just like wrote Drama Queen. Like we had the chords ready and stuff, and then I showed it to them, and then within like a minute, I think you'd written that drum thing that's and yeah, we were just like pretty excited about that, and then within like a couple weeks from then we were just like, yeah, that was just the song that we were like, this is way too fun to not take it really seriously.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay, so then was it always Rose Red Youth? Like was it like on that?
No.
Do you want to talk about that, or
What's that?
would you be down to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
how that like came into creation? Like,
Yeah, we had a friend of mine from school. His last name is Shembri, and just like as a placeholder name in Google Drive, when we'd send each other files and stuff, we just like called it Shem. I don't know why. He was like over that day.
okay,
And then we were just like, oh,
cool
Shem.
name, cool name.
And then we like did an open mic with that name, and it was pronounced as Scam when they announced us.
yeah.
He was like, "Is it ski?"
Yeah.
Scam.
It was really awkward. We did well though. That was actually good.
that was fun.
Nice.
But yeah, and then when it was time, like we'd recorded all the songs for the EP, and we're waiting to name the band sort of while Danny was in his cave mixing it for like 4 months. And then Rose Red Youth just came our way from a book that I was just like looking through for parts, for inspiration pretty much. And it all worked nicely with just like what we're at least what we've been about so far, just like about this stage of our early 20s, like growing up in and that's sort of just like our perception of what that's like, and sort of that like idea of it having been better. I guess that's pretty summary as well. So it was all kind of knocking around at that time when we named it. But anyways, yeah.
Cool. That leads actually pretty good. So you decided to self-title it into Rose Red Youth, your first project. How did that project, you kind of talked about it right now, but how did that project kind of lead you guys to this project and everything you've been doing up until now? How long has it been since project?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Like 11 months, 10 months.
Oh, fuck.
Since release dates.
God damn.
But they were kind of pretty much like, I think September, in September of the September before Rose Red Youth EP came out,
2018.
Nostalgia Ultra like demos had been going. What's that?
Oh.
September 2018, I think.
Yeah. So they kind of like overlapped a bit in terms of like writing, but yeah, it's like about a year between the releases.
True. Yeah. Do you want to talk about how the creation of that project, putting out that project, the after of that project led you guys to this project? How did that kind of come about? Or was it just?
I guess. Well, Ethan had gone to Israel for a year, which I guess you would talk about. But yeah, we were just like sending each other stuff back and forth at the time, and like we don't like Nick and I played a little bit together. Yeah. Danny was in Waterloo, and so like we were all just kind of separated, and I think they were just like we were just kind of like playing with ideas and stuff and writing a couple chords here and there, and then once we had a couple like those chord progressions and lyrics and stuff kind of locked and loaded, then it became apparent what was going on and like what this project was. And like I Miss Summer was a very easy jump, like in terms of like titling it and finding like the themes and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was sort of just like very quick. It was sort of just like doing research almost. We were all separated and just like collecting these different like ideas, and then once I had them all laid out in front of me, it's just like, oh, this is what we're gonna make, and then we made it. And yeah, I don't know. It was very natural, I think.
Did you guys go into like when you guys separated? I know you went to Israel. I don't know. You went to Waterloo, whatever. When you guys separated, was the idea like let's make an I Miss Summer, or was it kind of just like let's keep building?
I feel like the last project as well as this one all just kind of came together with just like no, I shouldn't say that it was just like random songs that came together, because this one is quite cohesive in terms of the songs coming together.
Yeah.
But I think it was like Brandon kept writing these songs that were kind of within these same thing. Brandon wouldn't stop writing these songs. Brandon kept writing these songs that were kind of in the same, like in the same sphere, kind of sonically and lyrically.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just kind of like a matter of, okay, we've got these songs down solid. Let's just put them all together in an order, and then let them kind of influence each other as we kind of continue to work on them. Because we had like the bare bones of them in, when was it, like last August when we went up to my cottage and we were just like rehearsing for a show that we had. Yeah. And we literally like finalized maybe 3 of the songs that are on I Miss Summer, because we were like,
oh, cool.
Because we needed more songs for our show.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were like, we got a 4-song EP and a cover.
For a 30-minute slot.
Yeah. So so we kind of finalized all those quite quickly actually, but like Brandon had already brought all the kind of like the progressions and most of the lyrics to them as well. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember where I was going with this or what the initial question was.
Or what the question. Yeah, I think we just kind of like, we definitely set out to do it once we knew what we were working with. But then there were certain spots like You're Okay is kind of like it's the like middle song on the album, is kind of like the central theme of the album. Like I think it speaks to like the main theme of the album like best. But yeah, that was sort of just like an empty space like in the roster. Like we knew like we had Sunshine and Nostalgia Ultra and Daisy and Chill Pills, and then You're Okay I hated, and as like a progression in the lyrics I wasn't really into it, and then I showed it to Ethan when he got back from Israel, and he wouldn't let us get rid of it. And then,
so like we were still at that point. We were still rehearsing in my garage, and like he played me the chord progression, and the part that's on the song now, like I wrote it that session.
Yeah, pretty much the first try,
and it has
just like
changed.
And
then like after that, we just kind of like Danny ran with it with like putting just crazy trap beat on it, and like
so sick.
Yeah.
So sick. Shit. Should we?
We may as well.
Yeah, fuck it. We can always wrap back if anything. Let's talk about I Miss Summer. My favorite song, shit. See, I don't even know if I could say this with certainty, but I would say right now it's definitely You're Okay.
Nice.
Like that's jumping on to the like hip hop like my playlist, which I guess tends to be hip hop. You guys want to talk about how that? Yeah, let's start with how that song came about, and honestly, we should go in order after, but.
Yeah, I guess it started with just like, I think I had written it on acoustic, and it was just like, it was super dry, and like I didn't really have any melodies or anything that I liked. I just sort of had just some like lyrics like surrounding love and young love, and how I wanted to have a song that sort of like was a tribute to that. And then I just didn't really like it. And then there was one night where I was just like playing in my room, and I sort of just like kept doing the like okay now thing, just like, and discovered these really cool chords for the chorus, and then I realized that it was worth checking out. But then just like it wasn't really hitting until we got together, and then that added guitar part just like sort of changed it and solidified its place, I think, a bit. And then these guys just ran train on it by making it like accessible. Like because it was like kind of
like, red train.
I don't know, it was kind of just like a slow song that like didn't have much appeal other than the fact that I cared about it. Like I think that always shines through, like the lyrically. But then it obviously needs to be like
Well, like, because it was especially like the first, I don't know if you want to say like half or 2/3 of the song is a bit more like it's kind of got that like trap influence beat and everything, and that was honestly all Danny. Because like basically when we put it together in like in August back then, I was just playing it on drums, and it was a bit more of like a, because I think you kind of took the beat that I did, then just like like totally ran with it and made it a bit more of like the trap
totally
beat. So
influenced by your beat,
but it was much like when we were doing it like live, it was a lot more just kind of like, this is a rock song and it's got a big finish and it's cool, but it's still that rock song. And I think Danny took that and kind of made it like, okay, this is going to be like a different feel for at least like, because we still want to have that big kind of like classic rock finish, but having that kind of cool like trap and like kind of rock ambient influence on the like first half of the song really changed it totally. And I think the first time I heard it, I was kind of like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
This is very like cliche trap. And then he was like, that's the point. So, but yeah, no, I really learned to love it. It's
How did it come to be? Like, what was your?
Honestly, the trap drums were probably the easiest thing that I did on the whole album.
I believe you.
I don't want to say like I'm a trap drum expert, Travis Scott drum kit. But yeah, I don't know. The song was just super vibey. Like you just like listen to the, like I just soloed the guitars and the vocals and stuff, and just like hit my drum pad with a beat, and then of course quantized everything, and that was pretty much it.
Was that like a decision going into it, or did it kind of just naturally happen? You were just like, "Yo, this song's good. Let me try some trap drums."
No. Brandon had some had a track by Usher.
Burn by Usher.
That he really liked.
Yeah, because it's like we kind of copied the structure of it in the chorus where there's sort of like this one melody that's really sort of like a higher octave, like flying around in the center, and then sort of just like other two on the side that are more chill, like containing it, which is what I did in You're Okay. And that came right from Usher, Burn. And then I guess the trap drums came in from that Thug song, Me or Us, off of
great fucking song.
Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Yeah.
There's like acoustic guitar plus the trap
that's the
drums.
one.
And then you're like, what about this? And I was like, let's put it out.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I was gonna go in order, but let's just talk about it. Like, so how, like I said earlier, you guys are changing up sounds and stuff. Was that just based on inspiration? Was that you guys sitting in a room together, being like, look, we could make this a little bit different? Like, how did that kind of come about? Like, it started. I mean, where did that start? What was the first song that did that? Because it wasn't. Was there a lot of that in Rose Red Youth in the first?
No, not much moving around at all.
Yeah.
It's like pretty indie rock.
Yeah. So how did that kind of switch up? Why did you decide to do that, etc.? If you don't mind to build.
I honestly, for me, a lot of it comes from just different influences. Like we all listen to a lot of hip hop, and like we love songs that have those kind of drum beats, like we're talking about in You're Okay. So like honestly, it just feels amazing to be able to make one of those. And like all of us are just down for that. Like Nick said, it might be a little bit uncomfortable if somebody's suggesting something extreme at the beginning, but like we all get used to it, and like we're all comfortable with going outside of our comfort zone, I think. Yeah,
and I think for like Nostalgia Ultra, for example, or should we not talk about that yet?
Please go ahead.
On Nostalgia Ultra, like for the auto tune, like I think Brandon, your big inspiration was
Kevin Abstract.
Was it? I was gonna say I like America. America likes me.
Maybe the timing would work out, but I remember I was listening to American Boyfriend a lot, and you came over that one night, and I had that one. We were so low.
Oh yeah, you.
And that whole time I was just thinking about Kevin Abstract. I pretty much just like I loved his like coming of age sort of approach to like the storytelling on that album and everything, and that's a super like loaded album in terms of the sounds. Like there are no songs that have like one instrument or two instruments at any point. It's always just like very concentrated and huge sounds. So that was like the influence for that, I guess. But like I think you're right though that the 1975 let's just make this a 1975 interview. But them using auto-tune. There's a song called By Your Side that they put out a couple years ago, and it was the first time that I'd heard that level of auto-tune on a song that wasn't necessarily allowed to use it. I remember like because it was like a very like rap thing, and then a band that was like more rock focused, like coming out with an auto-tune song, sort of just like definitely allowed me to be okay with trying it and not feeling ridiculous. And then it obviously just like sounded great, and we liked it.
Very happy about it. Was that something you guys discussed, or did that just literally like let's make these songs and what if we tried changing it up like this? What if we tried throwing on, like, how was that process?
We just kind of, like Danny was saying, we're all just kind of down for like if someone presents something that sounds good, and then like we just want to make music that we like listening to. Like we couldn't stop listening to I Miss Summer while we were making it. At least I couldn't. Like I listened to it demos like on my way to work every day. Like I don't know, it's just like stuff like people would suggest really good ideas, and I'd be like, yeah, it sounds good. I love this. Yeah. It was never really just like, I think like the continuity of it just comes through in like the themes and stuff. It doesn't need to be the same genre.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Do you want to, let's talk about like the theme from, I guess, the songwriting perspective first, and then maybe like the instrumentation after. Like, I don't know how much of a theme there really is, but like what was the inspiration? What was the thought process? If you want to get into that.
I guess the very first song that I wrote was Nostalgia Ultra, and I remember it was in September of 2018, I guess, and it was the first year that I wasn't going back to school, and it was that time. It was like right after summer, and now just like still keeping on with a day job and not having like a next step. And I think I remember just like writing a lot then that I just was really uncertain of what I was supposed to be doing, because up until that point I always had this, well, you'll be going to grade 10 next, so like, and then suddenly just like you're done school and it's like everything's up to you now, like that, like go outside and grow your own thing from the song, like so I think that was like the central theme of just of not knowing what to do and being very scared that I'm going to make the wrong decision, or that I missed my opportunity in some way to spend time with people that I care about, or something like that, or so that was the first song, and that's sort of saying it out loud now, I guess, like that's all of it. Like that's I think that the songs take a different angle on that perspective as those months during the writing process wore on, like into last summer when we finished You're Okay, which was the last song, and like didn't have lyrics for a while and everything. But it's all sort of just based around that time period of being sort of like 22 or 23 and not knowing what to do, and being very scared of the fact that no one's telling me what to do.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool that you're willing to explore that. Super cool that you guys are willing to help you make that happen.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, like we're all living it together too, right? Like,
exactly.
Pretty universal to be
honest.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like a lot of lines and stuff are drawn from like conversations and stuff, just like with us, and like we're always just like having friends and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Danny's dad, I don't know, Danny's dad once just said, like off the cuff, like, you were raised in the sunshine to Danny. And then he like texted me just being like, this would be a cool song lyric. And then that was like the title of the song before the song even had a progression or any lyrics or anything. Just like, this is the title for the intro for sure.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we're all just sort of living, or we were, I feel like we've definitely grown a lot through making this, and like understand that feeling a lot better now and are more comfortable where we're at. But yeah, we all lived through that time, I think, in our own way.
Sick. That's super dope. Very well articulated too, actually. Can we talk about Raised in the Sunshine? Because one, that's the sickest title I've ever heard.
Shout out Dad.
Yeah.
What up, Dad?
Man, that's like it just sounds beautiful, Raised in the Sunshine. And like, I guess that's probably what you guys felt, and we're like, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did the music for it come about? And what was the decision to make it in it?
Brandon sent me, I think, like a demo of it.
A bad demo.
Yeah, I don't remember if it had drums on it.
Yeah.
But I remember like pretty much all of the drums on the thing I wrote first on like a little drum pad with my fingers.
These fingers.
These babies right here. And I just remember like it had a lot of like very good sections of like with the breakdowns between lyrics of like those internet, like where I did in the fills and everything. And then just like I remember like pretty much any time Brendan sends me anything or like any of the guys send me anything, I put the same drum beat on it at first. And I'm like, this is what we're doing, and it's just yeah. But I think it kind of developed. And like I don't remember the timeline of that exactly, but I do remember you sending me that demo and working on that and being like, oh, like I'm quite excited about like I'm always excited to be able to like put fills that like really match in with like kind of like the other instruments going on rather than just being like like being able to be like, okay, accent here and accent here. So
Yeah,
I remember
like,
being super excited about like being able to get in and record that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you nailed that.
I think you were. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, like I think the
instrumental.
first the first time the instrumental started kind of coming together was in my basement when Brandon came over and showed me it on piano. And then I recorded like a DI version of what my part was going to be, and then that ended up just being the song, like what my part was going to be in that song. And we used that original recording from that day in
so sick.
the opening of the track.
We tried hard. We tried
To
hard
try
to
to
replace
be-
it with something like, I mean, that was just like DI. We tried to use like nice amps and nice guitars and stuff, and we just couldn't
A
get
bunch of
anything better.
times.
Yeah. We tried like multiple days, like
Yeah.
over a couple months. Like,
Man, I feel like that just fits the energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like super
crazy.
cool, especially like looking back. I guess I'm sure it was probably very
Yeah. But
frustrating.
yeah, it's like super authentic sounding, and like it's just like that was the moment, like because again, like you have these chords, but you don't love them for any reason. It's just the only reason you might want to hold on to them is because you wrote them. But then as soon as you like get in a room with someone, and like once Ethan played that guitar part, that was when I loved the song. So like it makes sense that like that piece was the missing piece, and it should stay.
Sick.
Yeah, that one was super piecemeal. Like we definitely like sent that around. Like we just like took the song to different people's houses and just like, oh, what could you add? Like we did like the synth start at Danny's place with his Korg. And like you did that guitar part, and just like everything.
oh yeah, that happened in like 5 seconds.
That was very.
first
It was
take, too.
I mean, it's only a minute song, but it was quick to put together.
What was the decision on the 1 minute? Was that just how much you wrote? Did you want to do more, or was it like, no, let's just keep this intro?
I feel like we've written 2 intros now, and we love them both so much. Like they're like, if you ask any of us, they're some of our favorite tracks that we have. I feel like they're we like them so much because they're sort of unrestricted. Like we don't have to have a traditional verse, chorus, bridge structure. Not necessarily saying that we have to have it in other songs, but it's definitely in the back of our minds when we're putting them together. But this is just like we can just do whatever we want. Like we have sort of a starting point that you have to start from the beginning of the album where there's silence and you got sort of a cold listener, and the end where you have to match up with the next song, and then anything in between, just like whatever goes. So you just really get to be creative, and it just ends up really coming together.
Yeah, it really sets the tone for like what you're about to listen to, which is really nice feeling.
Did you go in knowing that it would be the intro? Is that like how you created the song?
Yeah.
How about when you wrote the guitar? Were you like, this is gonna be the intro? Riff?
I don't even know if it was established at that point. Like I know for me, it wasn't in my mind. It wasn't established. Maybe Brandon came with like knowing that.
Because the chords, like it's meant to like transition like from one key to another, and the second key being Nostalgia Ultras. So like it's meant to be like the setup for just like something's about to happen. Which I liked. And like even from a like lyrical perspective too, like I think like the other songs are all very much like coming from me. As the like the narrator of the song. But that song was a cool opportunity to sort of like take on another person's voice. Like it's not directed at, it could like it's not necessarily like me saying like, oh, you grew up and had a good time, but like it's just like it was a cool opportunity to sort of like take on another person's voice in that.
Beautiful song, beautiful intro.
Thanks.
Like you said, I didn't even notice this because I don't know what the word is, but I didn't know like the chords carried over into Nostalgia Ultra, but also super cool song, which I could say about every song, but it's good. My favorite part about the Nostalgia Ultra was I don't even know what you'd call it, that like kind of like reggae, that like weird bounce that comes in. Is that in the chorus? I did go look at that. Where is that? The chorus? Is that the bridge? What the fuck? What is that?
Yeah, that's the chorus. The chorus for sure.
Yeah, cool.
I believe it may or may not be Travis Scott drum kit again.
Where?
It's the Nike's drum sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I remember like writing because like we had the verse drums down,
Yeah.
and then we were trying to figure out the chorus because I think when we were doing a demo of it, I just looped the drum beat to the chorus. I was like, this will be fine. But,
I can play this for 4 minutes.
Can barely play it for 2. But yeah, I remember like trying to. I think the influence that we wanted to do was kind of like a beat, kind of similar to "Sorry" by Justin Bieber,
Oh,
and kind of like that, like
cool, yeah.
But
yeah.
I remember it always just when we did it on like when I tried to do it on an acoustic kit, it always just sounded lame. Like it always just sounded like I was just going doom, which like it's what it is, but also just it didn't have the same kind of like. I don't know what the word is, but it didn't kind of have the same effect. Yeah, the same vibe, exactly. Yeah. So
it has like a bit of an otherworldly, like the chorus and the verse are very different. From each other. Every instrument changes and every like type of instrument changes. Like it's very electronic versus acoustic, and so I think that was like a really cool breakthrough to like separate those and use those drums.
Yeah, I remember when I think he was at Danny's apartment when we first.
Yeah, you guys were.
We were just like messing around like different possibilities of what it'd be, and Danny did it. He was like, is this too far? Have we like, is this something
we
that
lost
we
our
shouldn't
minds?
even like delve into? Like, are we Pitbull now essentially? Like just making reggae club tunes?
The answer was yes.
And it's like, yeah, okay, we're fine with it, and then just kind of went from there.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Are you excited to try to play? I'm so excited to hear this shit live. I'm so excited to hear this live.
Yeah, we're excited
Thanks.
too.
Yeah, I can't. We haven't really run through
Yeah.
nostalgia.
We've never
fully
played it before.
No, we have not. So that'll be fun.
We're doing
Yeah.
that for the first time today after this.
Yeah, cool. Super excited to hear that. What
Thanks,
are your thoughts on like the changing of the drums and your part of the drums? Like,
Yeah, so it's funny because when I laid down a very similar beat to that I usually do. It's like it's the beat from Pink and White by Frank Ocean, but like converted to 4/4 rather than 6/8, which is what that song is in.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I had it up on the MIDI with up on. I only know that because of the podcast, but
nice.
I had it up on the MIDI, and then I remember just like I think I just added some different like snare hits and everything. I shifted everything around. I think even like one beat or like half a bar or something, and I was like, oh, this is instantly way more interesting. We get like a lot more off beats and stuff like that there. And then translating that to the actual kit proved to be a bit tough at times, so I had to dumb down the beat just a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I really do like because like the difference between like the verse drums chug along so much and really keep it going, which I really like, and then Danny did a great job. But once the chorus hits, everything just kind of like, to me when I listen to it, kind of just like not drops out, but everything just gets super wide all of a sudden, and just like boom, and I think that the drums kind of chill for a little bit and then come in kind of more gradually. Danny did a great job with that. The chorus drums were way more Danny than me for sure.
Sure.
So yeah.
But do you like appreciate as a drummer? Do you like appreciate that kind of sound?
Totally. Yeah.
Like,
As long as it's got like a good as long as it again keeps things moving along, then I'm down for sure. Yeah.
As long as if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
Shit, sick. So that wasn't like a conscious decision. It was kind of just like, I'm gonna try something weird.
Yeah.
And you guys like it?
Yeah, seriously. No, just like experimenting. We were spending a couple hours on it at my apartment one weekend, and I did it, and we weren't really sure. But I think I sent it to Nick that following week, asking if he could like maybe take a crack at the chorus drums and like see if he could change them around. And it just sort of came to like, honestly, anything I do, I just wish that it was doing this or what we had before. So then we just left it like that.
Cool.
Yeah, because like Danny's a lot more adept with like the production of like the Travis Scott drum type of thing. Like I'm like those kind of like I'm not as nuanced with those kind of like those hi-hat riffs and stuff like that. So everything I sent to him, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like it would just be like boom, boom, boom. It's kind of like like I was saying, like same on the acoustic and same as like even when I was trying to make it with different sounds, it just kind of fell flat without kind of like Danny's magic.
I feel like it's a thing that happens a lot with like our ideation process. Even it's like we'll come up with something. We'll be like this is really cool, but like we're not sure of it. So we'll try a bunch of other things just so like we know that this is the thing. And then after trying all these different options, we'll come back to the first one and be like, okay, now we know for sure. Like we've tested everything. This is the thing it has to be.
We're pretty thorough about
it.
What did you learn from Rick Rubin? You're not allowed to say no.
Yeah. Rick Rubin said in an interview that if anyone suggests an idea, you have to try it. You can't just say no without hearing it.
That's the
at least in his studio.
That's fucking dope.
So halfway through making Hug this summer, we adopted that practice.
halfway through.
Already said no to everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
We hated Nostalgia Ultra several times
man,
for months.
really?
That song was it was a grind.
I was ready
get
to
it.
dump
because of
it.
the process.
Yeah, it was a long haul for sure. It came a long way from the demo to where it is now.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a lot
almost
of cool
unrecognizable.
iterations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the lyrics and the fact that there's auto tune.
What do you think made it so difficult?
No auto tune. What's that?
What do you think made it so difficult? What do you think made that song specifically so difficult? Was it just
It's I guess just like it's kind of an ambitious song, just in terms of the fact that like it's like these two very different worlds in the verse and the chorus. It's like it's kind of like you need to make two songs at once, but like they also need to agree with each other. You can't just like if You're Okay and Daisy were like in the same song as each other, it would be a huge vibe change, and that wouldn't work. And that's pretty much what we did on Nostalgia Ultra, but we had to make it work. So that's probably why it was so hard. But also just everything we tried, we like sort of liked, but I guess the main fear was that it was going to be boring. It's a bit of it's not even down tempo. I don't know why it was a risk that it would be boring, but we were always bored by it until we like found these little things like the Latin drum beat or like the auto tune, like so love, like that thing. Like as soon as I had that, I was like, okay, fine, I'll try more. Like so there's just like certain parts that keep you going. But that one was hard.
Was that the most difficult song to create? Like it was the creation of it that was made it?
To make it into a finished product, I'd say Nostalgia Ultra was the most tough, followed by probably Daisy.
Yeah, Daisy, there's a lot going on. You're Okay was easy. We did that in like 3 days.
Oh, sick. Let's skip over You're Okay and go right into Daisy. How the fuck? What? It started off fucking beautifully. And I was like, oh, sick, cool. And then it went fucking 1975 as fuck. And I was like, this is sick. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah. You guys are on some different shit. But yeah, how did that come about?
That one was also just like started with chords and it was boring and I liked it. and then I played it with Ryan and Nick at my house, and they just like added some serious groove to it.
I think the biggest decision was to have like the 4-on-the-floor bass drum just constant like on every quarter note, because it just gives it drive, and I feel like not a lot of other songs have that. Like obviously all of our songs like have that drive, but like this one was very much like, this is just gonna be like a fun track to listen to, and we're like, we might as well just do the cliche like boom, boom, right?
Yeah, that song like forces you along for the ride. Like you can't really like stop. I can't stop paying attention to it at any point. It's like, oh, this part sucks. No, it's just like I don't know. It's very
sick.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just I like it a lot.
I think it was nothing like you guys. Sounds like nothing you guys have ever made before.
Definitely.
Was that you guys going into it like that, or again same idea?
I think it just happened when you guys added the drums and bass.
I think it was just like once we started playing it all together, I was like, oh, this is so much fun. It's just a blast. It really just like drives along, and then all I wanted to do when we were rehearsing was play Daisy.
Yeah,
it's just like so fun. I think we just like kept following our intuition of like, let's just try to make this as fun and like as like accessible and listenable as possible, because like we might as well, because that's where we're kind of like drawn to with this one. It's a blast.
The verse for it was really hard to match the chorus's energy, and then Ethan had. I remember you added that dun, 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 part, and then that sort of like sealed the deal. Like because the chorus was always fun, but the verses were just like, we need them to get to the choruses, whereas now I think they stand on their own, like as a result of that.
And it was tough too, because like obviously the first verse is just you and the piano, so to kind of like transform that into a different sound, because like once we hit the first chorus, you can't go back.
Yeah, which was what I wanted to do first, and you and Ryan were like, no.
So like I think like once you get that energy, you can't like bring it back. So I think like getting that second verse where I was like, okay, like it just used to be on the first time it was just Brandon and the piano. How are we gonna kind of fill in all those gaps?
The chorus instrumentation came a long way as well. I think when we had it recorded originally, we had the just like regular acoustic piano carry over into the chorus. I probably went through maybe 5 or 6 different electric piano sounds and ended up with like 4 of them layered, I think, that Brandon had to re-record. There's a synth part in there that I somehow just sort of stumbled upon when I was working on it one night, that really helps to drive the beat forward. There's just like a lot of little parts that came together to really layer the song to make it more interesting and make all the melodies come through and make sure the beat's still driving. Yeah.
Definitely a common theme with a lot of this project especially, I think, was, like you said, the driving, the movingness of the beat, the movingness of the music. Was that with the intention of you guys performing? I don't know. Was that last show that you guys did your first show together?
Yeah, in September.
Yeah, was that the first show? And then did that play a role in like trying to make this dancey and fun?
I think with Daisy, yeah. Like
Daisy,
Nick was saying, like we were practicing, and then when it was time to rehearse Daisy, we would all be like, "All right, boys." Yeah, like it was just way more fun. And then
Go ahead.
But yeah, when it came to recording, like obviously it's I don't know if this is obvious, but for us performing it felt easier to make the music entertaining and to want people to listen to it because they're already there. And like as long as we're having fun, we assume they are. Whereas like when we're recording it, that was like the hard thing was trying to get it to still be interesting at all times, so that it's always grabbing at your attention.
Successful.
I think also like that's how Daisy like you were talking about how like rehearsing for getting ready for that show, kind of trying to make things more not listenable but like exciting. I think that influenced the "You're Okay" ending as well.
Yeah,
because we were like, because once we kind of wrote it, and I was like, I'm gonna just hammer on the crash cymbal, and like we're gonna make it kind of as big and dramatic as possible. We were like, this has to be the last song we play.
Yeah,
and like that kind of like forced us to make it even like as big as we could and kind of as dramatic as we could for kind of like that ending.
It was originally supposed to go back to the
again,
right?
classic.
But like when we played it live and we were just at maximum energy level by the end of the bridge there, and we were like, no, that's it. We got to just do this a couple more bars and then finish. And that's how we ended up recording it too.
Yeah, that one influenced it heavily.
Dope. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into the last one. Sucks. We're almost done. Chill Pills. I didn't even write a lot about this because of just the seriousness of it. I told you specifically that it felt like that was the one that you had the most to say.
Yeah.
So what was writing? Like I would have guessed that would have been the hardest, but I guess not. Maybe the easiest.
It was the hardest to write, I think, lyrically.
Where?
Daisy was also kind of hard.
Yeah.
They were all. Sunshine's the only one that, like, I wrote that. I went to get sushi on my lunch break at work, and on my walk back, I wrote it and texted it to Danny. He's like, "Looks good." but yeah, Chill Pills. I started in October. I think I finished it like in January. Like I wasn't like working every day on it, but it was really hard to nail down those lyrics. I think partially because like it's not the most like flowery like subject matter. Like it was I was probably a bit scared to really figure out what I was going for with it. Cause yeah, like it always had that like I think you're dying mentality, and it's like about like being so like anxious about what we're all doing here, what this has all been about. And I that was always a driving force. But anytime I sat down at the piano and started asking myself those questions, I would just get kind of sidetracked and just like want to be like, you baby, and just like kind of like just I was too scared, I think, to be honest about it. And then it's also hard to make it all rhyme and stuff too. But yeah, so that was the the writing process for it. It was definitely the hardest one to write, but I guess it came together pretty easily, like when we recorded it.
How was it exploring that like idea? Was it like what sparked it? What did you have first?
I guess like it just started, just like from it's pretty literal, like just like panic attack kind of vibes in the chorus.
Genre.
and yeah, so and then just like I guess having felt that, then just sort of looking at how that relates to the overall. By that time, I sort of was understanding what I'm a Summer was supposed to be, and could relate that sense of panic in a moment to a more universal panic that's sort of always following me around, I guess. And that's why it feels that way, where it seems like that's where I'm saying the most, because I think the other ones are all very memory focused and sort of, they can be, I guess, like negative or like kind of sad at times, but I think Chill Pill, but they're always reflective and we're past that point. Whereas Chill Pills is very present and very, I forget what I was saying now, but yeah, it's very just like in that moment, this is what I'm feeling, which I think is why it has that idea that like I've got a lot to say, I've got a lot on my mind.
So was like what was the first part of the song that you wrote, if you don't mind me asking?
I was listening to Biking by Frank Ocean, and it has this really nice, like, it opens with like the Jay-Z verse and stuff, and then and it's like super like lo-fi and you can't hear anything. And then this like really shimmery like acoustic guitar comes in and Frank's voice, which is just like amazing. And I remembered that part just being like, I was listening to that song for that part exclusively. And there are other parts too, but in it that are great. But yeah, that acoustic guitar part, I remember I sort of laid down like a terrible electronic drums beat, and then was just playing this like acoustic loop over and over, which is pretty, at this point, buried pretty deep in the like mix of the chorus. What's that?
Sorry.
But yeah, that was the first thing was the chorus chords, and then just sort of like, I Think You're Dying was like that was there, and then I just kind of like spent a lot of time figuring out what that meant.
Cool.
But yeah.
You guys want to talk about? I didn't write anything about the music just because of how deep. Just because I don't want to say deep, just how like it was the perfect way to end the project. You guys started it well.
Yeah.
You guys ended it well. The part that I remember the most, and the part that kind of hit me was how you guys ended it. I guess that was probably Danny's fucking shit.
Yeah, Brandon and I were recording the acoustic guitar and the vocals for Chill Pills.
Yeah.
And I had Brandon set up and mic'd in my living room, and then I was in my bedroom where my computer was set up, and I was just sort of like, I don't know, making his headphone mix, turning some knobs and stuff, and he was just playing the chorus on acoustic and singing it, and it just sort of reminded me that although we've taken all these songs and made them so huge, well, we think they're huge. We tried our best. They're very densely produced. There's a lot going on, constantly grabbing for your attention. At the heart of it all are these beautiful, honest songs that Brandon's written, just him and his piano or just him and his guitar. And I think that ending sort of gives that a chance to shine through. It's just sort of to remember what it's all about, and that these are... truly just beautiful songs.
Thanks. Yeah. I guess it kind of suggests that like you might have missed something, right? If it's just acoustic at the end and you're rocking out and not paying attention to the lyrics, it's maybe just like a nice hint, just like check it out again, get those streams up.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I think that's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Beautiful songs written by you. Beautiful performances by you guys.
Thank you.
Again, I don't know. Do you want to say that you're doing a show?
I mean, we got one, I think, May 2nd. Pretty sure. But he never emailed me back.
Sure.
But he said we've got it, and then I said, "Do we have it?" And he didn't respond. But yeah, so May 2nd.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Cool.
Cameron House.
Sick. Well, looking forward to hearing you guys perform it live. Looking forward to the formal release. You guys already missed like 400 streams from me. Sorry. But yeah, super excited. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks. That was so fun.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And I guess that's it.
Great.
Cool.
Sick.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'll jump